Hello. All right. How my thinking leads to eating. I'm hearing my lower brain say, I do not deserve weight loss. I am not doing enough. So, this was a question that came in from one of our beautiful Half Size Me community members in our last live webinar. And she followed it up with something to the effect of, I know it's actually not true, but how do I contend with this? So there's a couple things I want you to think about. If you hear that voice in your head that says, you don't deserve to lose weight, you aren't doing enough. First off, it's only ever going to hit you when you're kind of already in a low mood state. Like translation, you're not feeling like you're on top of the world, conquering all your big achievements and goals and feeling unstoppable, like picturing a Rocky montage. That's not when that thought shows up. That thought's going to show up on the day you're feeling disjointed, you're feeling like you're chasing your own tail, the kids are having meltdowns, your boss threw another project on your thing, you forgot your packed lunch, and now you're questioning what you're going to do, and then you're going to feel overwhelmed, and you're going to hear that voice kick in and say, you're not doing enough to lose weight, you don't deserve this. And the best thing, and I did this in my journey. What's awesome is so much of what I'm teaching you guys in this How My Thinking Leads to Eating series, I actually did these things. It was intuitive and kind of natural for me to realize it. I didn't have the words to attach it to explain to somebody else why I was doing what I was doing. Part of me thought I was a little crazy because I was contending with this voice in my head. But what I ultimately realized was, as I'm sure you have figured out, the requirements to lose weight are not difficult in the sense of you don't have to be highly educated. You don't have to really split atoms to do it. It's pretty simple, right? Eat a calorie deficit, do a meal plan, go grocery shopping. The things to get your weight to budge in the right direction are fairly simplistic. They require consistency and they require repetitiveness, which is why this problem keeps coming up, because your brain talks to you all the time. So it's not that these actions are difficult, it's that your brain gets in the way. It's your thinking that interrupts the flow of the actions that need to happen. So what I did is I would hear that voice all the time. I'd step on the scale. See, you're not doing enough to lose weight. You're not cutting out enough things. You're not working out hard enough, right? Because what it's trying to do is to avoid me failing again. So it's trying to guide me in the direction of quitting, honestly. So what you want to do, and I just assigned this assignment to my husband, so I want you to hear me when I say this works, and I really want you to do it. That voice will never go away. It's going to always show up. It's going to show up on a day when you're feeling cruddy to begin with, and it's going to say it, and that's going to be the day that you would normally quit on yourself. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is when we're hearing this video, we're feeling kind of neutral, we don't have anything going on, we're going to pull out a sheet of notebook paper and we're going to say, okay, when that voice shows up and says, you're not doing enough to lose weight, you don't deserve this, right? Write that across the top. You're going to list out through the course of a day, week, whatever, all the things you do to get you to a healthier place. So if you go for a walk every day, you're going to write that down. If you portion out your lunch and pre-track and put your treat in first thing in the morning, and you do a meal plan for the week, and you go grocery shopping for the week, and you do all these things. I want you to write every single one of them down. Now, the next time that voice shows up for you, you're going to get non-emotional about it. You're going to hear somebody saying that to you, and you're just going to rip that sheet of paper out from your wallet or your purse or whatever, and you're going to read it out loud. You're going to say, that is an incorrect statement. I want you to practice this. This is an incorrect statement. I do things to move the needle in the right direction, and here is the list. Then you read the list. Now, this will never get rid of the voice. The voice will continue to show up. It still shows up for me, actually, on occasion. But what I have strengthened my muscle with is my response. Seeing it as insignificant, seeing it as kind of like mental garbage. It doesn't serve a purpose. It's not helpful. It is not truthful. And how do I know that? Because I have my own lists of things, right? Like, how do I know that I do enough for my kids? Because I have a list of all the things I get done for them. How do I know I do enough for Half Size Me? I got a list of stuff that I get done for it, right? Like, I have my own lists that I refer to. Now, what happens in your brain when you hear that message, you're not doing enough, you don't deserve this, because you're going to repeat this process over and over again. You're going to rip out the list, you're going to read the list. What will happen is you're going to shortchange that in your thinking to where when you hear it, your brain automatically almost kicks on with that list of repetitive things that you do. It's almost it's in a way your brain will start to defend you because you have repeated that list over and it could take you 6 months. I don't know the exact time frame it's going to take for you to hardwire those two things together. But that's what I did in my journey. I promise you, I would hear that voice all the time and it drove me kind of bonkers. And so I ripped out a sheet of paper one day. I, again, had no words to explain lower brain, higher brain, all that stuff. I wrote down all the things I was doing. I was meal planning, I was grocery shopping, I was eating out less, I was doing all these things. And when that voice would kick in, I would just read the list off. And what would happen is it got quieter, it got less frequent. It still shows up, but now my brain is initially wired to say that's incorrect. And here's why. You start to be able to defend your true self better against a lower brain that's just looking at this one moment in time and making that comment because it's afraid you're going to fail again and it's trying to protect you from that. You're like, no, that's incorrect. Look at all that I get done. And you can dismiss it. And for my husband, it's not around food and eating, but he has some other issues when it comes to artistic endeavors and things like that. And so I actually assign this to him because when our lower brain shows up, it shows up in all areas of our lives, not just this one. This technique is really helpful. So if you also struggle with parenting and the voice shows up for you there, follow the same protocol. Write out the list. When you hear it say the thing, read the list out loud, get non-dramatic about it, just read it very matter-of-factly. Pretend you're in a court of law and the lower brain is saying you are guilty of not doing enough to lose weight. And you come back and you have to defend your client. Well, I'm defending my client because that is incorrect. She grocery shops every week. She meal plans every week. She journals her food every day. She does all these things, right? So you have a leg to stand on. In that moment, the reason you need to practice this and write this down when it's not bothering you, in that moment, because it's all happening internally, you're not activating your prefrontal cortex. You're not really you're not in your active thinking state. So it's kind of like someone just insulted you and you're already feeling very low and you can't see the truth in that moment. 20, 30 minutes later, that's when the comeback. Oh, I should have said this to him. Too late. Let's get this on paper now so you're armed and prepared for the next time it happens. All right, guys, I hope these videos are helpful. How your thinking leads to eating. Please check out the entire series of videos. Please hear me when I say you're not getting rid of this. It's going to be there. Your job is to learn how to manage it and give it a much less impactful place in your life. That's your job. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.